Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to our conversation today. Today is March 10th, 2025. Hello, Michael. Good to see you. How are you?
Hello, Julie. I'm good. I can't believe it's March already. Wow.
I know time has gone by so fast.
Hmm.
Yes. So today we're getting together and we're talking about the topic that we all probably have had a chance to experience in the past 6, 7 years that we've been together um, in this community. So we're talking about the topic, Ash Mufara, we care. So what does that mean? What does that mean by we care? Are we caring for the things that we do, or we care for the community? And how does that topic, how does we care has really resonate with everyone around the world, and we'll come together as a community, and now we're getting together and build that relationship together. So that is really a gist of what we're talking about today, and how does this relationship will bring us to another level of uplifting humanity around the world. And Michael, that's what we're talking about today. So to me is when I talk about we care, when you're talking about caring to someone, it doesn't necessarily mean just physically, you know. Like you actually go to that person and you take care of that person. It's not just that. I think it has to do with mentally, physically. It has to do with being there for that person. Do we care enough to put ourselves in the other person's shoes and walk their walk? Like wear that person's shoes and walk their walk. And to me, I'm looking back in the journey of the last, 6, 7 years that I've been together with this great company. I do see that in Mr. Mufara. And that was the reason why he created the company. And that's the reason why he's still here, working through whatever that needs to be worked through to be able to come together and have this relationship with us together. And I believe that whenever he's ready, the next phase, the next step will be the biggest that we ever seen. Now, I am speaking in how I see it. I'm not sure how you see it, but come back to the topic, Michael. I believe whatever that happened in the community together shows that we care. And come back to the point. Do we care enough to walk in each other's shoes in good times and bad time?
Well, when you care about others, Julie, you want the best for them, right?
Mhm.
Think of your family, think of your children, think of your spouse. When you care for them, you want the best. You're going to protect them, right? You're going to provide for them. You're going to help them, every step of the way, right? Um, you know, and that's important because a lot of people say they care, and then it's just all lip service. You
Mhm.
understand? They say action speaks louder than words, right? And so if I care about people, I'm not going to try and harm you. I'm not going to speak ill of you, right? I'm not going to speak bad of you, right? I'm going to always try to bring you up, right? I'm always going to try to take the high road, if you wish, in all aspects of life, right? And no matter what circumstance you find yourself in, you're always going to do that, right? And so I think we've always done that, Julie, even before on passive, and then coming into on passive, where there's been a greater emphasis on caring for humanity, caring for your brothers and sisters, caring for your community, right? And so we continue to do that, right? And I think it's important that everyone continue to do that, Julie, right? We are not, uh, you know, we're not here to dictate to people. We're not here to tell people how to conduct themselves, conduct their lives, all these things. We can make recommendations, we can make suggestions. To me, that's caring, right? I care for you, Julie. So I'm going to always want the best for you, no matter what, right? And sometimes we may even have disagreements. Isn't that what happens in families?
Mhm.
Right? Maybe you maybe have a spouse and you disagree with your spouse, or maybe you disagree, the children them disagree with you. You know what I mean? Your mom, dad, like whomever, right? But at the end of the day, there's that level of respect that we have for each other. And so it's okay. We can agree to disagree, right? It's okay for that. Even in sometimes in our discussions, sometimes on the topics, you may say, oh, we want to do this topic. And I says, well, I'm not really sure about that topic, and vice versa. And you understand? When you care for people, you're always going to come from a love or a loving standpoint, right? Where you want to bear other people's up, right? You know what I mean? We talk about, when you're trying to do things for other people, why are you doing it, right? Like, where are you coming from? What's the mindset, right? What are your thoughts? What's your thought process? What goes into you doing what you're doing, right? And if it's always from a caring standpoint, Joe, you can't go wrong,
Mhm.
right? None of us is perfect, right? Life isn't perfect, business isn't perfect. All of us were expecting this great company of ours, to be going viral right now. You understand? And having, millions upon millions of customers right now. Okay. That isn't the case, but we still care for those that got involved with us. We still care, or those who invited. We still care for our CEO. We still care for our fellow founders. We still care, right? Because it's always about love, Julia. So to me, that's what caring is about. You have to bring love inside there, right? Because the love does actually conquers all. It really does.
Mhm.
But people have to come together, not be divided, Julie, right?
Mhm.
And when people let their personal opinions and their personal feelings get in the way, then all of a sudden here comes division. And no, we should always be united. We should always stand together. There's a movie that I love, Julie, and it says, never go against family, right? You know what I mean? We always stand together, but it doesn't mean, maybe you want your child to be a doctor and they says, well, no, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer instead. Okay, that's what they want. So you support them in their endeavor. You understand me? You may not agree with it. Just ask, well, I don't want to go to university. I just want to go get a job and start my own business. You support that, right? He says, okay, that's what you want to do. We're here for you. You understand? So you may not like what they're doing, or you may not even approve of what they're doing, but you're still going to support them, right, as best as you possibly can. And to me, that's what it's all about. That's what the community in On Passive is all about, Julie. It's about supporting each other, caring for each other, right? Someone is down, you try to lift them up, right? Whether physically lift them up, whether it's lifting them up in prayer, whatever the case may be, whether it's a phone call to just say, hey, I'm just checking on you, whatever the case may be, we care for each other. And to me, that's the spirit of On Passive, right? The spirit of On Passive is not to tear down, right? The spirit of On Passive is not division, okay? It's not to have separation, segregation, all these things. We talk about breaking down barriers. So
Mhm.
within On Passive, love, right, is the chief word. That's the chief word, Julie. A lot of people say they love, but we know it's just lip service. You understand?
Mhm.
So when it comes from your core, when it comes from your inner being, okay, you're always going to put your best foot forward. You're always going to be thinking of others, thinking of their feelings, etc. And you're always going to be coming from a place whereby it's not about me, right? It's about us,
Mhm.
right? It's not about I, it's about we, right?
Yes.
And together, Julie, together we will achieve. We can't achieve by ourselves. We just can't. You understand? And so if people just have to remember that we are all grown adults, okay? We're all adults. Last time I checked, I'm not a child. Last time I checked, you're not a child. You understand? We're all adults and we can make decisions on our own, but certainly we want to be able to come together, Julie, at the end of the day, come together and make this company the best company there is in the world, period. But that only happens when we come together as a community in the spirit of love.
Actually, I really love what we're with this topic today, Michael, because as you are explaining, as you are saying care and love, I mean, love and care is the chief of all. right? The cheese that hold everything together. I mean, if you go through let's say family, if you don't have love and care in the family when it goes through the hard time, people, even in family, blooded related, they fight and they sue people, they do all kinds of things, but love and care is the core foundation, is the cheese. When you're talking about the cheese, you're talking about the glue that glue everything together. So no matter where we are in the world, do we care? Do we love people around us enough?
Mhm.
And also is exhibit in the family. It's kind of crazy. Over the weekend, we had a tournament for my daughter, and totally the girls are playing together in that team. Really, it shows love and care for each and every one of them. I was sitting with a parent, and she gave a compliment to my daughter. She's such a good hitter, she's this and that, and her daughter was a setter. So I then said, you know in order to have a great hitter, you have to have a great setter. And in order for you to have a great setter, you have to have a great passer,
Mhm.
right? And we all kind of congratulate each other, and we all agree on that point. And then she brought up the point. I love this team. It's just the
Mhm.
level of love and care that they have for each other. It's amazing. And I agree with her on that part. And I also agree with her, in order to have that love and care and that team spirit together, they all have to come from great family, right? And in order to have great family, you have to have that love and care, supporting each other on that part. And let's go back to the point, to the term that I love so much, is interconnected, right? Everything is interconnected. Everything is connecting to each other. In order for us to have a strong community, a great companies together, we have to show that love and care for each other. So it is a foundation of everything that we are doing in family, in community, and in the world. And love and care gives great result. And it doesn't matter what kind of result. If you want to have a bond and trust relationship, there's love and care in that relationship. And like you said, it's not just lip service, it's about your action that comes with it. For example, a lot of the our friends in this community here, we reached out to each other. We haven't heard from so and so. We wanted to see how that person's doing, and it really, to come back to the point too, Michael, is are you care enough? Do you care enough to walk that person's walk, to wear their shoes, and to know how their day's going? And it also shows in our community that when one person is sick, the whole community get together and pray for that person. And so it's definitely this community, this great company that we care so much for, shows that. And that's why we have such a strong relationship. Michael, if you didn't care or love me enough, you wouldn't be here. Or if I didn't care and love you enough, if we don't have that relationship, we wouldn't have this live discussion. And that's why I wanted to call this as a meaningful conversation, because we all comes together and we share what we things, and we share how we feel about our community. And definitely there's love and care here.
Yeah, absolutely, Julie. And when you if you tear one down, you tear one member of the community down, you're tearing the whole community down, right? You understand me? And so that's why we always, move in the direction of upliftment, right? Like, how many times have we said, we're all about uplifting humanity, right?
Mhm.
We're not about tearing humanity down. We want to uplift it. We want to make it better, Julie, right? We want to be supportive, right? And that's what caring is all about, right?
Yes.
You have the word caregiver,
Mhm.
right? What does that mean? Right? It's not care. No one says care receiver, right? We say caregiver. You understand me? So you're giving care to the individual or individuals that you're taking care of. You understand me? That you're responsible for, right? You're a caregiver, right? not a caretaker. You're not taken. You understand me? You're given, right? And so, there's a difference, Julie. And so if we sit back and we take a look at our journey from where we started back in 2018,
Mhm.
right? How many times have we given and given and given and given and given and given of our time,
Mhm.
right? Given of knowledge, wisdom, uh, energy, effort. You understand? Support. Just give, 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 and give. Because to me, that's what our community was built upon, Julie.
Mhm.
Right? It's built upon giving.
Mhm.
Right? We talk about Oh Bless. Okay, Oh Bless is about giving. Right? How can we bless others? Right? How can we give to others? Right? How can we help? How can we assist? You understand? So to me, there's a lot of care within our company, but sometimes people they kind of lose track. They kind of lose their way because they let pride come in. Julie, you understand? They let sometimes people let the wrong spirit enter into their mind, and so they lose their way and not understanding what love is all about, right? Love, you love somebody, Julie. If I love you, Julie, I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to come punch you. I'm not going to slap you. I'm not going to, I'm not going to say words to you that's harmful. You understand me, right? Even if, Julie, if we're in a relationship, right, and we get a divorce, we can still love each other.
Mhm.
You understand me?
Absolutely.
Right? So we don't have to be like, oh my gosh, I hate Julie and this and all this stuff, only because there's a separation. It doesn't have to be that way. You
Yep.
understand? Right? So you have ugly separations, and you have separations that are like, oh wow, look, they get along so well. And you have some people tell you that, you know what, yeah, we actually get along better that we're apart now than when we were together. You know what I mean? Like, people have to understand what love is, right? And if you say you love, then you will always care. You will always care, Julie, no matter what. 20 years later, you're divorced for 20 years. If you truly love that person, you'll still care for that person 20 years later. That's just how it works, right? And that goes for anything. Maybe you work for an employer, right? You work for a company, you know what I mean? And things didn't work out, so you went your separate ways. But
Mhm.
you have nothing ill to say about that company, right? It was a good experience on passive. Okay, 2018 until now. Okay,
Mhm.
why do you have something bad to say about it? Right? Not because it hasn't worked in your favor as yet. It doesn't mean that you should have bad things to say about the company. We're still here. Our CEO says he's doing everything he can possible. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? To get to that next phase. Okay, right? You understand me? So people have to understand that you have to practice what you preach, right? You understand me? So if you have that love and spirit within you, then you should exhibit it at all times. We can caution people, we can give people our opinions, we can do all of that stuff, right? But it's all should always be in the spirit of love, because that's when you truly show that you care.
Mhm.
You understand me? Like, you will never hear me say an ill word of our CEO. Why would I? Doesn't make any sense, Julie. You understand me? Or about our company on passive. Why would I? Doesn't make any sense. You understand? Right? So people just have to be mindful, because words can be harmful, right? Words can hurt, right? People say sticks and stones, right? But yeah, that's nonsense, right? I mean, words can actually harm people, and so we have to be mindful of everything that comes out, right? Because in order for that word to come out, it first starts with a thought. You're thinking something, right? It goes up in here first, then it comes out. You understand? So we have time, in other words, to stop, think before we speak. You understand? Because once you let it out, Julie, you can't pull it back in,
Yep.
right? You can't pull it back in, right? And so I love the fact that the majority, not all of us, but the majority of us have that caring spirit, right?
Mhm.
The majority of us wants to see us do well. You know what I mean? It's like if you're on a team, and let's say you left that team to go for another team. Like, we see that happens all the time with sports, right? Where somebody's on a basketball team or whatever, and then they've gone to this other team and so on. But I see where the players from the previous team, when they're embracing each other, the love is still there. Not all the time, but most of the time, that's what happens. You understand? And so what I see here with our great company, Julie, is that the majority of people are still embracing. The majority of people are still coming together and supporting. Yes, you can have folks who, naysayers or whatever you want to call them. That's just life, right? Some people are just miserable, Julie,
Yeah.
and that's when it's in tough times is when you really see what people are made of, right? Somebody can tell, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, because things are great. You understand me? All of a sudden now, the roof is falling apart. The mortgage is not being paid. Bills are not being paid. Things are really bad. Maybe you lose everything, right? And then you really see, is that person still with you? Are they going to be there with you through thick and thin? You understand? Right? And that's how you know whether you have someone that truly loves you or not, right? Especially when it comes to friendships. You understand? That's when you know, is that friend still there? Or were they there because of all the goodness and all when everything was fancy and great? And you understand me? But when things get ugly, when things get bad, when things go down, right? Are they still there supporting? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So for me, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful, grateful, grateful that the majority of people in our community, are caring, Julie, right? That's what I see from the different ones that I speak with. They're caring, right? And they're uplifting our CEO in prayer, right? They're lifting the company, the founders, them, because a lot of founders are struggling, Julie.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But there's only so much one can do, right? But as long as we continue to stay together, right, continue to focus on the big picture, we're going to be okay. At the end of the day, we're going to be okay, and that's what matters, right? That's what matters, right? A lot of people reaching out, what's the update? What's the this, all this stuff,
They care.
right? And all we can do is just encourage them to say, let's continue to be patient, right? Love has its place within our community, right?
Mhm.
And one way or the other, we're going to be okay in the end, right? So I love the topic, Julie. I love the idea that we're talking about caring, right? Because it's important, right? It really is. It's important that we care for each other. We cannot go through life and not care for each other. If we do that, Julie, then it's just chaos. It's just chaos, right? And I want to be in a world whereby love exists. You know what I mean? And if love is there, then you have so much caring spirits all around us.
Yes, I agree. And I enjoy this topic very much so. And it's really all come down to is do you care enough for yourself? You have to have it within you to be able to care for each other. And the reason why you're here, you're showing up, that means you care. And so I love the topic. And if we care for each other, let's take the action today, reaching out to each other and see how, if we, we are together enough to know who's still here and who's not here. And if you haven't seen, myself too included, if we haven't seen someone's around, it's best to check on them. We have a way of contacting someone. And so, yeah, let's do that together in order for us to have a strong community, strong company there for each other. Care is the key. You got to care for each other first. So, anything else you want to touch on, Michael? Are we missing anything that we
Mm,
haven't talked
yeah.
about?
I don't think so. I mean, we stand that caring is I would say that's part of our foundation,
Mhm.
right? It's part of our foundation, right? You either care about people or you don't care about people. I mean, it's just that simple. Either you do or you don't. You know what I mean? And it's never going to be from what's coming out of here. It's never going to be that. Not because I say, "Oh, Julie, I care for you," doesn't mean I do. I'm just telling you that. You know what I mean? But it all stems from my actions. It all stems from, um, you know, what I do, right, and why I do what I do, and all of that. It's all those things come together. Again, actions really does speak louder than words. It does, right? Again, I can tell my wife that I love her, okay, but she's not looking for that. She's looking for the actions. Show me, right? Show me that you love me, right? Don't just tell me that you, because anyone can tell somebody they love. You understand me? Show me, right? And the action. My wife always says it's the little things, right? It's never the big things. She always says it's the little things. So the little things that you do. You know what I mean? Whether it's doing the laundry, wash the dishes, like what? Just little things. You know what I mean? Get me a cup of coffee, cup of tea, right? It's just little things. Rub my back, whatever, right? It's never the big stuff. It's never, oh, let me take you to, Hawaii or wherever, right? Let's go to Tahiti. You know what I mean? It's not the big things. Let me buy you a mansion. It's not those,
Mhm,
right? It's the little things. That's what really shows someone that you actually care for them,
mhm,
right? And again, we're all getting older, right? Whether we like to believe it or not, you know what I mean? And some folks need extra care as they age. You know
mhm,
what I mean?
mhm.
Are you there for those people? Right? You know what I mean? Are you looking out for them? Right? It's we want a caring world, right? That's what we want. We want a caring world, Julie. Right? That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. Let me throw a little challenge out to everyone who's listening to this and watching this. I know we care and love about for each other. We're going through sort of like a storm, kind of like a tough time at this point for everyone, a lot of us. And especially for Mr. Mufara, do we care for what he does behind the scene enough or not? So, how do we show that we are here? How do we show that we care for what Mr. Mufara is doing behind the scene? He cares so much for us, and that's the reason why he's still here. So the challenge here is, do we care enough for what he does? Or how do we show it? And I'm not going to suggest or say, we should do this, but do we care enough for what he does? And if we do care enough for what we do, what would we show the world of how much we care for Mr. Mufara, the team behind him, and the community what we are in? So that is the challenge. What is the action behind that challenge? What could we do? What should we do? I may say one thing that we could do is put it out there. How much do you care for this community? How much do you care for our CEO and the team behind the scene? What can we do to show that to the world? Or just to show it to ourselves, and it all starting from inside of us. In order to care and love someone or something or the community, we have to shed all of those hatreds, anger away. Another thing too, Michael, is we can throw away and flush down the toilet all the, fear, anger, and hatred away. It will actually um, help us to lift up ourselves and the community as well. So, do we care enough to do that? So that's just a little short challenge that I'm throwing out. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you showing up. And I know today we changed our time a little bit because of, kids and schools and stuff like that. So thank you, Michael, for adjusting your time to be here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And if you forgot that you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. I know my goal to deliver on this channel is values. And so, because I care, therefore, please subscribe to it. And if you like the message we shared today, please share it out. Thank you, Michael, for being here. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed Monday and a blessed week. Take
Thank you,
care.
Julie. Take care, everyone.